Call of Duty Black Ops 1 is one of my all-time favourite Call of Duty games, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at 20 insane details in the original Black Ops. As always, if you think I've missed anything, then please let me know in the comments, and remember, I upload videos covering Easter eggs and details in video games twice a week. So if that sounds like your sort of thing, then perhaps consider subscribing. Of course, a big thank you to my Patreon backers and YouTube channel members for their awesome support, and without further delay, let's get started. Right, let's cover these details in the order that they appear in the campaign, with the first mission of interest being Operation 40. This mission sees you playing as Alex Mason, as he and a team consisting of Woods and Bowman attempt to assassinate real-world Cuban dictator Fidel Castro. Towards the end of the level, you complete your mission and take down Castro. Or so you think. You see, when Castro is laying on the bed, apparently dead, your aim is still red, which usually means that the person you're aiming at is an enemy and that they're still alive. Now, you can continue to shoot the body, but the aim will stay red. So, is Castro actually dead? Well, later on in the same mission, it's revealed that you actually killed Castro's double and not Castro himself. I mean, I'm not sure why that meant that the double was still showing as alive, because he definitely wasn't, but it's a cool hint of things to come. Next up is Vorkuta. This mission sees you take control of Mason as he attempts to escape a Russian labour camp with the help of returning character Viktor Reznov. Now, if I'm being completely honest, this detail is more of an Easter egg, but once you see how cool it is, hopefully you can forgive me. At the end of the mission, Mason and Reznov make their escape on motorbikes, with their only form of defence being their shotguns. Well, take a look at how Mason reloads his shotgun and see if it looks familiar.
This way!
So what do you think? Well, to me, it looks an awful lot like the motorbike shotgun reload seen in Terminator 2. Now, of course, this could be a coincidence, so let me know what you think. Next up is Executive Order, where you once again play as Mason as he and Woods assault a Cosmodrome facility. Now, before infiltrating the facility, Mason and Woods grab themselves a couple of disguises, though they have to think on their feet as they are interrupted by a pair of Russian soldiers on patrol. Woods uses his surprisingly good Russian to fool the guards, and the mission continues. The thing is, if you are the type of player who likes no loose ends, you can actually kill the guards with no penalty.
Da. We're good. Brooks and Bowman should be right up ahead. What the fuck are you doing, Mason?
So Woods will get very angry at your loose end tying antics. I'm guessing that a lot of people didn't know about this, as many would assume that killing the guards would result in an immediate mission failure. The next mission of interest is the Defector, which sees Mason and the team attempt to extract a Defector with critical information. Now, the first detail from this level is a personal favourite of mine. After a very rough landing, Woods will disarm an enemy before using their weapon to fire 2 shots. What's cool is, when Woods tosses you the gun, it'll be missing the 2 shots that he fired. It's a detail that could have been easily overlooked.
Move out!
Now, when you finally make contact with the Defector, it's revealed that he is in fact Reznov. Or is it? You see, we all know that Reznov is actually dead, so the Reznov that we think we're saving isn't actually there. For proof of this, if you try and shoot Reznov, nothing will happen. I mean, sure, he may flinch, but that's about it. If you try shooting any other friendly, well, the game just won't let you do it. Now, some of you may be wondering where the real Defector is. I mean, if it's not Reznov, then who is it? Well, he can be found in the same room where you encountered Reznov, slumped over a desk as Hudson later reveals that he was killed during the fighting. Next up is Project Nova, where you actually play as the aforementioned Viktor Reznov, as you learn the reasons behind his imprisonment at Vorkuta. At the beginning of the mission, Dragovich and Kravchenko, 2 of the game's villains, explain that you need to capture a scientist named Steiner. Apparently, he is of the utmost importance to the Soviet cause. Now, given the apparent VIP nature of Steiner, you'd think that Dragovich and Kravchenko would be all hands on deck with this mission and join you in the fighting. Well, if you watch them at the beginning of the mission, you can see that the 2 cowards actually run in the opposite direction of the battle, leaving you to do all the dirty work.
Buddha!
Up next is the crash site mission, where Mason and the team look for a crashed Soviet cargo plane containing Nova 6. Now, at the beginning of the mission, Woods will turn on the radio, as the word stealth isn't in the man's vocabulary. Well, before the excellent, but unfortunately copyrighted song Sympathy of the Devil plays, listen to the name that the radio announcer shouts out.
Let's see what they think of this.
Goes out to Sergeant Blundell and all our boys at the RPO. Go get 'em.
So the radio host will mention the name Jason Blundell, who was co-studio head and game director at Treyarch. Next up is Payback, which sees Mason and Woods being held captive by the Viet Cong. Now, like most other Call of Duty games, Black Ops 1 has a mature content filter which will turn off blood and gore and limit the swearing. Now, this works as expected in Black Ops, apart from one really odd scene. When Woods is sitting at the table and the filter is off, he will say this.
Motherfuckers. We're gonna make them pay. You!
So Woods will whisper his line, which includes the customary Woods F-bomb. Well, if you have the filter turned on, this will happen instead.
Bastards! We're gonna make them pay!
So for some reason, the content filter being turned on will make Woods shout his line whilst also removing the F-bomb. Now, my theory is that they had to call the voice actor back in to record the more family-friendly lines, and didn't give him context, leading to the really strange delivery. Up next is Rebirth, which sees Mason and not actually their Reznov sneak into a base to finally take out Dr. Steiner. Now, the Call of Duty series has long had a fascination with teddy bears, but this particular teddy bear is perhaps the most well-hidden Call of Duty teddy bear I've ever seen. On the walls of this crate, you can sort of make out the outline of a bear. Now, I could be seeing things, but I'm pretty certain that's what this is meant to be. Let me know what you think in the comments. Up next is the game's penultimate level, Revelations, where, surprise surprise, a lot of the game's twists and turns are revealed. Now, after knocking out Hudson and leaving the interrogation room, if you head to the door on the right and listen very carefully, you can hear this. So whatever is behind this door can be heard growling, and judging from the growl, I'm not sure I want to find out what that is. Now, this next clip from Revelations isn't a detail or even an Easter egg, but I'll be damned if it isn't iconic.
Where?
Cuba.
Right, so that does it for the campaign-related details. Let's check out some of the cool things found in the game's multiplayer maps. First up is perhaps the one detail from Black Ops 1 that I'm guessing the majority of you will already know. The population counter on the Nuketown sign will change depending on the amount of players in the game. For example, here the counter shows 1 as I'm the only player on the map, whereas now the counter shows 9 as I've added bots. Like I said, it's well known, but still cool. The other detail found on Nuketown is a secret RCXD track. At both spawns, you can do this.
Friendly RCXD deployed.
The only other detail that I've managed to find on a multiplayer map can be found on Hazard. On this map, you can find a golf course, and the scoreboard contains a couple of familiar names, including Fidel Castro himself, Viktor Reznov, and Alex Mason, who, considering his obsession with numbers, finds himself way down the leaderboard. Up next is a really cool detail that I found in the game's Zombies mode. The Ascension Zombies map takes place in a Soviet cosmodrome, which means along with zombified scientists, there are also zombified soldiers. Now, you may think that the past occupations of zombies don't really matter, but I'm here to tell you that they do. Here, take a look at how the scientist zombies react to you pointing a gun at them. So in typical zombie fashion, the scientists will just stumble towards you. Well, take a look at what the soldier zombie does in the same scenario. so the soldier zombies will actually try to move out of your line of sight. It's a really cool detail that I'm hoping a lot of you didn't know. So the final two details can be seen in the game's main menu, which has to go down as the best main menu in any game ever. If you mash the triggers at the main menu, this will happen. So Mason will break free from the chair, allowing him to explore the interrogation room at his own pace, where multiple secrets can be found. The other main menu detail can be seen by simply selecting a different mode. As you sit in the chair, you can see a man observing you. He doesn't move or leave, that is until you select the zombies mode, where this will happen. So the man will leave and a zombie will take his place. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated. If you are a fan of Easter eggs and secrets, then perhaps consider subscribing. Thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.